Hello, so my name's Danielle Rose, and I'm doing a reflection video for my class on artificial intelligence. And so what I've decided to do is have a panel of friends. There's also one who's just going to be a voice because she's video chatting with us. And we're going to reflect on artificial intelligence. So I guess I'll start with, guys, what do you think artificial intelligence is? Like, how would you define it?
I would define it as like a computer program that has the capacity to be smarter than humans.
It has to be smarter than humans to be artificially intelligent?
Not necessarily. It just has to be able to think quickly. Think in quotation marks quickly.
Okay.
I would say just like a form of technology that can perform like human tasks and like take the place of a human.
Okay. Jenna?
I think artificial intelligence is basically taking on, it's not meant to be human, but also not meant to be completely mechanical. It's meant to be something that is its own form, but meant to be used at the will of a human being.
Okay. So, do you guys think that we already have things that can be considered artificially intelligent? If so, what is that? Or do you think, if you don't think that we have artificial intelligence, do you think that we'll be able to see it in our lifetimes?
Have you seen our smartphones?
Yeah, I know, right? They're insane what they can do. Like, they're just little... And Siri? What is Siri?
Like, Alexa, play Despacito. Like, there you go, right there. Like, that's like terrifying. Like,
Yeah. It's like even in commercials now. Like, have you seen the new one where like the wife like leaves for a vacation or whatever, or work trip, and she leaves the husband little messages on Alexa, and so Alexa's pretty much just the wife telling him, "Hey, you're doing a good job." Like, I thought that was crazy.
Like, does anyone, like, not think that that's kind of weird? Because, like, psychologically, eventually, over time, like, your little AI connected within that little speaker box could eventually condition you to think a certain way. Does no one think that? Eventually, an AI can develop its own personal beliefs and intelligence. Like, we've seen this within, like, various media forms, and does anyone not think that that could happen? I mean...
I think it definitely could. After reading the article, and I'll get to this later, but like technology is growing at like an exponential rate. Yeah, and I think it's insane, and I do think that we'll eventually get there in our lifetime. Like, our kids are gonna have to deal with it, and I'm terrified for that. Not even gonna lie.
We're heading back to the Stone Age. Let's do it.
I'm all for it. Let's go back to writing on stones. It'll be fun. So when it comes to history, we think in straight lines. And this was like a fact from the article. It said when it comes to history, we think in straight lines. What do you guys think about this? Would you agree with it?
I think that's pretty false. I don't think we think of anything in straight lines. I just feel
It doesn't have to be horizontal. Like, it's just straight.
You mean, okay, do you mean like
the rate of change is going to be
technology is
constant
progressing
at a constant rate instead of exponential.
I think that's silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that it's exponential. I mean,
Yeah. I think we definitely see. I think older generations, like our grandparents, might think that way a little bit, but definitely our generation has lived through so much change that it's easy for us to think about it exponentially. Yeah.
yeah.
Because, I mean, think about it, when we were kids, we were complaining the other day about having to rewind videos, like,
Yeah.
and then
And
DVDs, and then now you just watch
Mhm.
Netflix. Like, there's no rewinding involved, and it's the best. So, that was cool. So are you guys okay with, like, it being exponential, like, rate of change? How do you feel about the reality of time?
Time is a social construct that we made up to feel better about ourselves.
Okay. Cool chat.
Okay, I'm okay with it being exponential to a degree.
To a degree.
It's good to advance our technology to a point where it's more helpful to us, but there will come a point where it's changing so fast that we can't
Can't keep up.
keep up.
Yeah.
I think in some situation it's bad because it eliminates jobs. So like, I guess like U-Scan would be like a form of it, but like you're taking people's jobs away by like how fast technology is increasing. So I feel like it's gonna like have like benefits, but it's also gonna have a lot of like consequences coming with it because like lots of jobs.
Right. Like the unnecessary stuff
Mm-hmm.
is like, dude, a human could do that, but the machine's gonna get to a point where it can do it better, faster, and more accurate. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that at all. And so the article I read talked about different degrees of artificial intelligence. The first one was artificial narrow intelligence, and so that's like the first like calculator. Like, oh my gosh, there's this machine that can do calculations. I don't need to like do it in my head. What is that? And to us today, that feels like nothing. And the second one is artificial general intelligence. And so that's like, do you guys remember when Watson beat like the Jeopardy champion things?
Yeah.
Like they had that machine on Jeopardy playing and it like actually won the game because it could think like not like a human but as close to a human as we could get at that point. So that would be an example of general intelligence where it can think in many different ways and not just like perform one function. And then artificial superintelligence is where it becomes smarter than a human and it can think faster and better and that kind of stuff. So knowing the different kinds of intelligence now, can you think of artificial intelligence that you use every day?
Definitely smartphone.
Yeah, smartphone for sure. What category does that fall under? Pop quiz.
No.
I would call it general.
No.
I would say
You can
general.
use it.
General,
You can use it to
general.
do anything.
Very general.
Pretty much anything.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with the internet that we have on them now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like smartphones are like small laptops, like in your hand.
Right. No, they really are. Or pocket or purse or wherever you keep your cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say a calculator would be like that narrow intelligence because like now we have those graphing calculators and like they're in color and they have an even newer one than the one I have and I thought I had a really nice one. And I'm like, I like went to the store. I'm like, what is this? Like, where did that come from? It does like random calculus stuff that I probably will never need to know.
Well, there's
But
another example of that rapid change.
Let's see.
Exponential
yeah,
change.
like when did that happen?
I mean, you've had your calculator for
I've had it since my freshman year of high school, maybe.
way more than 4 years.
Yeah, that baby's old. It's got me through a
wow.
lot.
I would say I have the color one too.
Yeah, the
It
Or
color
was
is
that
cool.
when I was suffering in stats?
Yeah. It did get us through stats.
Mine broke halfway through.
Oh no. And it's like it's debilitating when our stuff breaks like that.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
and
my
just how your
smartphone.
cell phone
Yeah.
messed up this weekend and you didn't have that.
I'm like, how am I gonna use my GPS? How am I gonna call someone if I get in a car wreck? Like,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can't do anything.
And I had the same thing. I got lost downtown in the middle of the night, and I had to use my GPS. Like, if my phone died, I'd be screwed.
Mhm.
Like,
I would have gotten lost so many times.
it's crazy how dependent we are on this stuff.
And isn't it kind of silly how, like, we become so dependent on this stuff that, like, it doesn't even, like, cross our minds to even think about looking back on, like, how it was originally thought to be learned? Like, using a map. Like, not even GPS, but, like, an actual map. Or memorizing the directions of how to get somewhere in the dark. Like,
Yeah.
Putting off
is
map
it, like,
quests.
it doesn't, like, we don't even think about learning it, like, old way. Like, back, like literally the old way. We literally think, like, oh, why don't we just look it up on our phone? But then when it comes to it, we're like, dang it, what are we going to do? We're like, oh, why don't we just, like, well, we don't know what to do now.
Exactly. It's kind of scary how dependent we're getting on it because it's only going to get bigger and better and more powerful, especially when the article started talking about like getting it to the point where it can make itself better and then we don't even have to do anything. Like I just feel such a loss of control there. I don't know if I'm okay with that.
I think
I
on
don't think
social
I'd be okay
media
with that either.
with like the ads, like how it can tell, like since like when you look at something and like the cookies, it brings up like the things you're interested in and like things you don't even look up but you like talk about and they just show up on your social media. That's so creepy.
Right, like you're shopping for dog food
Mhm.
1 second, and then the next you have an ad for that like dog food delivery service on your Instagram. It's
not
like, where
even
did that
put
come
up.
from?
Mm-hmm.
How did you figure that out?
I've had things where I've just like talked to someone about like just like something like I don't even look up on my phone and it just like pops up. I'm like, well, that was creepy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so the next question is recreating the human brain is not easy. So what does this say about our God to you? Because you guys have seen like this change to try to get closer to artificial intelligence and how difficult it is to like actually recreate a human brain. So, what would that say?
Was it like how complex like we're made and like how much like detail and like how like different like and unique each person is because you like went into so much detail with like the way our brains work and like the whole process like nervous system, everything's just like very unique and complex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just nearly impossible to replicate
Mhm.
in the form of a human brain. You wouldn't be able to do that, I think. But with
Right. With like the real organic materials, like there's no way we're gonna
there's
be
no
able
way
to.
you could do that. But
We can replicate the function, but we can't actually make a
Yeah.
brain
yeah,
yet. I don't know if we'll get there. The rapture might happen.
I mean, I feel like we can't play God in that sense. Like, that's taking life into our own hands and trying to replicate something. And I think when we speak in those terms, I think that's just something that no man should have the power to do.
Yeah.
If that,
Agreed.
I agree. She said if that makes sense. Her voice kind of cut out, but I would agree with that for sure. And so with that, the article I read discussed different ways to make superintelligence. So the first one is plagiarizing the brain, which, I mean, we're not God like Jenna said. I think that's going to be pretty impossible. And then there's let's make evolution happen again, but for us this time. And again, like as a biologist, like creationist biologist, I don't think like evolution and like the traditional sense the Big Bang happened. I think God definitely had a part in it, and therefore it can't be replicated again personally. And then there's make the computer do it. Let's just make a computer like as smart or almost as smart as us, and then ask it like, hey, how would you make yourself better? Because we ask ourselves that all the time. Like, let's make myself a better person. Why can't we ask a computer, hey, make yourself a better computer?
make yourself a better computer. That's just scary.
I know. So which of these do you guys think is going to be the easiest and why? I kind of already said my piece on them, but
which do you think is going to be the easiest?
yeah, easiest. Plagiarizing the brain, recreating evolution, or just making the computer do it.
Well, we kind of already said that plagiarizing the brain is just impossible. For now, at least. I guess someday, maybe. But for now, it's completely impossible. And it's also completely unethical, completely wrong, in my opinion. But, like, statistically, it would be impossible. So that's definitely the hardest.
Yeah.
Easiest. What were my other options?
Plagiarizing the brain, evolution, or making the computer do it.
Evolution. What do you mean as in evolution?
Evolution, like making evolution happen again. So the article said like I kind of forget because that one wasn't. I didn't think it was very logical. So we can just skip that one.
Alright, let's skip evolution.
We'll skip that. Yeah, I didn't think that one was very reasonable. It was kind of a mix between the two. Just making the computer make itself bigger and better.
I think that would be the easiest one, just
Yeah.
because like the capabilities like the computers already have, I feel like they're just gonna keep building and building because right now it's already like pretty crazy all the stuff that they can do.
Pretty powerful.
Especially like through Siri and like everything, how they can just It's like they have a brain of their own or something.
Right, like you
So-
can ask Siri to tell you a joke and she'll tell you a joke and they're actually really funny.
Interesting, like song lyrics. Like if you like tell her to sing a song, like
She'll sing the song.
Mhm.
And she'll like have random conversations with you and she'll tell you like, I don't understand what you're saying.
Mhm.
That's so interesting to me.
Just sing the song.
She'll like rate it like the lyrics.
Yeah. So now thinking about exponential, okay, we've gone over this question. The question was, do you think it's possible in our lifetime? Now that you've thinking about this exponential growth, but you guys were kind of already at that point.
It's already happened in our
It's
lifetime.
already happened.
Yeah. Definitely. We start with those giant phones.
Yeah. And so the article ended with pretty much affirming that artificial intelligence is going to happen and it's going to be smarter than us in our lifetime. And so basically, it's going to make itself a god-like figure. And it ended with a really ominous statement, will it be a nice god? So how do you think... Okay, so first, what's your initial reaction about that? Will it be a nice god?
I think that's kind of creepy just to think about because I don't know. You never know, like what what they'll come up with or like what it can do if like they have the capabilities to even like make something that smart that can like be as smart as a human. I feel like I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities and it's kind of scary.
Yeah. And something I kind of forgot to mention is they already have machines that are like as smart as a rat. Like the brain can function at the rate that a rat's brain can function. Chenna's face is in disbelief right now. You can't see it, but it's pretty funny.
Jesus didn't die for that baby. I'm sorry, but will it be a nice God? First of all, has anybody seen Wall-E or Meet the Robinsons?
I was thinking about
Yeah,
that.
those are kind of scary.
Yeah,
I was
robot,
like, remember?
Smart house.
Like, the hat went crazy. Like, she was like, I want power. And I'm like, oh.
Smart
like,
house,
that's
for
terrifying. Like, Doris went crazy. I'm
Smart
like,
House was
it's
crazy
Wall-E.
too. Oh my
Don't
gosh,
take over.
what year was that? Like 2003?
That was really old.
That was.
was-
Hey Siri, how old is Smart House?
But, like, I'm serious. Like, Wall-E, I'm serious. All the humans, they, like, became, like, indebted to the machines. And then when it came time for, like, the humans, like, actually, like, woke up from their trances, like, oh my god, what are we doing? Like, the robots were like, no, we can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, no. Like, it's kind of just like, what if we get to the point to where machines are so dependent, like, we use them to the point where we become so dependent on machines, like we are now. But are we going to become aware to the point to where we know, like, okay, like, when are we going to know when
To
the time
stop.
is to stop? Like,
And I don't
we
think.
literally use it for everything.
Yeah. I really don't think we will know when to stop. I think there's always going to be someone out there who wants bigger and better and like
And we'll pay for bigger and better.
right. Like we're just in such a society where being top dog is it. Like
Yeah, you have to have the newest, greatest thing.
This is
Yeah.
just naturally
To
how we are.
blend in.
Yeah.
yeah.
We
And-
just naturally always want better.
Yeah, and like we're getting increasingly lazy too. Like we don't want to go out and do the work, we want someone else to do it for us.
That's a Wall-E concept too.
Wally, yeah. Like why would I do a calculation when my calculator can do it? Like
Because it's statistics.
we're getting increasingly lazy.
not doing that.
Yeah. So
Actually, that's why I did all my stats homework by hand.
yeah. And so if it's not a nice god, like Chen is kind of implying here, how do we fix it? Like can we save ourselves? Or are we just kind of done for? Are we going to be like the equivalent of like a dog?
I
don't know.
mean,
just a
technology-
loyal best friend that stays right there all the
No,
time.
but, like,
Well, we already were
technology
at
can
that.
die.
Yeah.
Technology can die. We just do what we did with Danny's phone, put it in water.
She's referring to the one time I dropped my phone in some water, and I was without a phone for like a week. It was really bad.
Put it in water.
Again, because I'm dependent on it, apparently. We're talking to Chenna from California on a smartphone. This is insane.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
What a concept.
I'm recording this on a computer. I'm turning in an assignment on a computer. Like, there used to be times where you had to, like, actually go to class. To be in class.
Or you
It's
had
so
to have
weird.
like a video camera or something.
Right.
Like yeah. laptop with the
Let's
webcam
remind you
and-
that I actually got the day off and you guys didn't. So.
All right, Jenna's bragging about Labor Day now. So moving on to my next question. And so since we're talking about it being a nice God, how do you think this is going to affect religion? Since we're going to have a computer that's going to know immense amounts of stuff that we don't. Are you going to believe it? Are you going to rely on faith? How's that going to look like?
I think it's unavoidable to like not rely on it because like in Christian beliefs, there's just like habits that are shaping you, and like if it becomes so dependent, like everyone becomes so dependent on this stuff in society, it's gonna like shape us like unconsciously, and we're not gonna realize that like our desires are like shaping towards that and away from God. I think it's almost unavoidable unless you're like everyone's like really like conscious about it and consciously like trying to change it, but it's still gonna shape you just because it's part of the society we're in.
Right.
Well, you could even argue that in places where religion isn't so common, like China or somewhere like that,
Mm-hmm.
that they're already pretty dependent on technology. I mean, their industry and stuff is like built up on technology, and they use it daily, routinely, probably even more so than we do, but I don't know that for sure. So, I mean, it would be easy to replace religion with computers. Definitely not right, but easy.
Yeah.
It would become common.
I mean- Sorry.
You're good. Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, like, I'm not actually, like, argue against that, but, like, when you look at it, we have survived, like, religion has survived this long with technology advancing. We are still here. We are still believers. And, like, yet, like, despite with all of the advancements, like, I feel like there's always going to be someone who still believes no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though, like, a new God may form, I still believe that
Yeah.
there will always be someone who still finds truth.
Mm-hmm.
What if this technology gets to the point where that it can not prove or disprove God? Because obviously that's a faith thing; it's not going to happen. But like completely defutes any opposing force, and like Christianity is the only thing that stands.
Gang, gang.
Wouldn't that be crazy? I think that would be crazy. But
So you're saying it would get to a point where God and computers are on the same platform, the same level. Is that what you're?
yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's just that the computer is going to be so much smarter than us that it's going to find ways to support the existence of a God in ways that we can't because we just don't have the intellectual capabilities for that. Because it's going to be like way smarter than us. And so things like the composition of stars and how the universe started and that kind of stuff, like the computer might be able to figure out at one point where we can't right now. And if it supports creationism and that kind of stuff, like would that be radical? Or even if it didn't, like if it didn't support.
Yeah, it would be very life changing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it would prove everything that we've
Yeah,
suspected.
It would
I
like
mean,
support.
yeah.
It would support Christianity, but also I feel like there's like things that like we're always not gonna know some stuff, and I don't think like I think it's God like intended for us to still not know stuff just so like
that's
we can like prove like our faith to Him. So I don't think we'll ever like
Get the
fully
full
like
story.
yeah I get all of it like obviously like while we're on Earth just because I don't think He intended it that way.
And, and like as advanced as computers get, technology like as advanced as technology gets, God's always going to be ahead of it. Like God is omnipotent,
Mhm.
so and omnipresent, and so I think Brooke's right in that He's always going to leave that little bit of
Yeah.
unforeseen stuff, so that way it is still like a faith.
Mhm.
It has to remain faith because it's the only way to go there. That's super interesting, guys.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I'll end the video because we're running on 25 minutes. But thank you guys for your help. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.